All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and this time we're going back into Kecia's world, from Kecia's tour life.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. And, we love her blog because she takes us on the road with her, shares all those great music and travel experiences. And this time it's all about a very special concert she went to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, New Edition's Residency in Las Vegas.
Okay, so residencies, I feel like those have really become a mark of success in the music industry these days. It's not just a one-off concert. It's creating a whole experience, drawing fans in for an extended engagement.
Yeah, and Kecia was saying how she was, like, trying all year to get tickets.
Oh.
So, New Edition fans are definitely out there.
Oh, for sure.
And she mentioned, too, that this particular show is being sold.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of adds a whole other layer to the whole thing.
Definitely.
And did you catch what she said about the energy in the room when the lights went down?
Yeah, the way she described the atmosphere, that feeling of like the earth tilting when the music started, it almost makes you wonder if those sensory details are amplified when you're part of something being like documented for posterity.
Right. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and speaking of moments that stand out, did you see that New Edition actually did a tribute to the Spinners
Yes.
during the show?
And knowing Kecia's personal connection to the Spinners,
Right. Her dad.
her dad was a huge fan. I mean, that must have been just an incredibly special moment for her.
Yeah.
I'm curious, from reading the post, did you get a sense of which Spinner songs they might have covered, or how they kind of incorporated that into their set list?
Yeah, she didn't give specific songs, but she did mention like this seamless blend of like New Edition's signature style with that classic Spinner sound.
Okay.
It really speaks to their versatility as performers, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. That ability to like pay homage to their influences while staying true to their own musical identity, I think is a hallmark of their longevity.
Yeah.
It's not just imitation, it's a conversation across musical generations.
And speaking of conversations, there was one moment that Kecia really highlighted.
Okay.
Johnny Gill performing. This one's for me and you.
Yes. She mentioned waiting a decade to hear that song live.
Wow.
And what I find interesting is that while it is a Johnny Gill song, he actually did it with New Edition on his 2014 album.
Oh, cool.
So it kind of blurs the lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a solo moment within a group performance, or is it a group performance of a solo song?
Yeah, that's really interesting. And you're right. It does make you think about those layers of identity within a group dynamic.
Right.
For Kecia, it seems like it was this culmination of her love for both Johnny Gill and New Edition coming together in this one perfect moment.
Right. It's almost like that song choice became like a microcosm of New Edition's entire career. The
Yeah.
individual talents weaving together to create something even greater than the sum of its parts.
And to top it all off, there was a surprise at the end of the show.
Oh.
Kecia mentioned they had to redo a few parts because of the filming.
Really?
Can you imagine being in the audience for that?
It would almost feel like you're getting a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the production.
Yeah.
Not just enjoying the finished product, but being a part of the process.
Exactly. And Kecia even joked about, being ready to do whatever it took to get those perfect shots. Sounds like she was truly invested in the whole experience.
Which, if we think about it, is precisely what a Las Vegas residency aims to achieve.
Yeah.
It's not just about seeing the band play their hits. It's about becoming part of their world, if only for a night.
Right.
Kecia even called it a moment in history.
Wow.
Which I think speaks to that sense of being present for something truly unique.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting how she mentioned that seeing New Edition in concert always feels like the first time, even after all these years.
Right. That really struck me, too. What do you think it is about their performances that keeps it so fresh? Is it the energy? Is it the song selection?
Well, she did highlight like their choreography.
Okay.
You know how their dance moves are still as sharp as ever?
Yeah.
But I think it goes deeper than that. It's
Yeah.
about the way they connect with the audience.
Mm.
The genuine joy they just seem to radiate on stage.
Right.
It's contagious.
Yeah. And you know what else Kecia was really impressed by? Each member's individual talents.
Oh, yeah.
She specifically praised their individual styles and stage presence, like how they each bring something unique to the group dynamic.
Exactly. It's like they've managed to strike this perfect balance between showcasing their individual strengths and coming together as this cohesive unit. I mean, think about it. They've been performing together for over 4 decades.
Wow.
That level of synergy is incredibly rare.
It really makes you appreciate the legacy they've built, not just for R&B, but for music as a whole. Their influence can be felt across generations of artists.
Yeah, speaking of influence, do you think there's a resurgence of interest in these classic R&B groups? I mean, we see it with the New Edition Residency, but it seems like there's a broader trend here.
I think you're onto something. Look at all the tribute shows, documentaries, even biopics celebrating these legendary groups.
Right.
There's definitely a renewed appreciation for the artists who paved the way.
And maybe it's also a reaction to the current music landscape,
Yeah.
in a world of auto-tune and heavily produced tracks.
Right.
There's something refreshing about the raw talent and genuine emotion of those classic R&B sounds.
That's a great point. And you know what else Kecia mentioned?
What's that?
The intimacy of the venue.
Okay.
The encore at the Wynn.
It does seem counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Mm.
A large-scale production like a New Edition Residency, known for their elaborate stage shows,
Yeah.
choosing a venue that emphasizes connection with the audience.
Yeah, maybe it's a deliberate choice, a way to create a more immersive experience for the fans. And it clearly worked because Kecia mentioned in another post that she literally flew into Vegas for the concert and flew back out the next day.
Wow.
She said it wasn't about being in Vegas, it was about being present for that concert.
Wow, that's dedication. But it also speaks to the power of these live music events.
Right.
They become these destination experiences, these moments in time that transcend the everyday.
Absolutely. And it sounds like New Edition delivered on that promise.
Mm.
In fact, Kecia mentioned that the Residency was such a hit, they added new dates for February 2025.
It's a testament to their enduring appeal. They're not just coasting on nostalgia, they're actively creating new memories for fans old and new.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who might be on the fence about seeing them, Kecia's message was simple: just do it.
Couldn't agree more. If you had the opportunity to see a group like New Edition,
Mm-hmm.
a group that holds a special place in your heart,
Yeah.
don't hesitate. It's a chance to experience that magic firsthand, to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
It's about embracing those moments that make life richer, more vibrant.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with the music, the artists, and the community of fans who share that passion.
Now, what stood out to you the most about this deep dive?
I think what resonated with me the most was the sense of community. Kecia described that feeling of shared joy and connection that comes from experiencing live music together. It's a reminder that even in a digital age, these in-person experiences hold a special power.
Beautifully said. And that's the beauty of Kecia's blog, isn't it?
Yeah.
She brings us along on these journeys, allowing us to tap into that collective energy, even if we weren't physically present.
Exactly. It's about inspiring others to seek out those experiences that spark joy, those moments that make life a little bit more extraordinary.
Well, folks, that about wraps up our deep dive. We really got a feel for what it was like to be at that concert, didn't we?
Yeah.
From the anticipation of finally getting those tickets,
Right.
to the surprise of the filming, and of course, the emotional impact of hearing those songs live.
What's fascinating is how Kecia's personal journey as a New Edition fan kind of intersects with their broad legacy in the music world. It reminds us that these iconic groups aren't just performers.
Right.
They're part of our cultural fabric woven into the soundtrack of our lives.
And it's not just nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
There's something timeless about their music.
Yeah.
The way it continues to connect with people across generations.
Absolutely. Think about it. Kecia grew up listening to them, and now, decades later, they're still creating new experiences for her and countless other fans.
Yeah.
It speaks to the enduring power of music to transcend time and create those shared moments of joy and connection.
It makes you think about the artists who hold that kind of power in our own lives, who are the musicians whose music has been with us through thick and thin,
Right.
whose concerts feel like coming home.
It's a powerful thing, isn't it? That feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
United by the love of music. And sometimes those seemingly small moments, those concerts, those songs, those shared experiences, they end up shaping our lives in the most profound ways.
Well said, and that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Kecia's New Edition adventure. But before we sign off, let's remind everyone where they can find Kecia online.
You can connect with her on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And of course, don't forget to check out her blog at keciastourlife.com for more insights into music travel and those unforgettable experiences that make life worth living.
Thanks for joining us on another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep the music playing.